Blessings and love, beautiful, beautiful, bright souls. Welcome to Ascension to Love with Alice, a return to union. I am so excited to be here doing this reading. We are looking at the Saturn retrograde. So we've got Saturn going into retrograde on the 23rd of May, all the way through to the 10/10 portal. What a wonderful day to complete that. So around the 10th or 11th of October, depending on where in the world you are. But that's a good few months of Saturn retrograde. So retrogrades for anyone that is new to that term or isn't really sure how that impacts us. So a retrograde is when we, from our perspective on Earth, it seems like the planet in question is going backwards through the astrological signs. Now, what that means for us is it's usually a time of introspection. It's usually a time of slowing down. It's usually a time of kind of completing certain things, especially when we look at Saturn. And I say completing because it's kind of like, what are those loose ends that we really could do with tying up that haven't yet been looked at, right? So we are looking at the wonderful, wonderful planet of Saturn. Now, Saturn, you know, traditionally it's a planet of discipline, right? It's a planet of structure. It's a planet of rigidity, usually. But there is a much bigger purpose to this incredible, incredible planet. Yes, it is one of discipline, but it's spiritual discipline, right? It's kind of like it's a place where, and I say a place because any starseeds watching, you know, you may have originated from Saturn, you may have gone to school in Saturn, right? But it's an incredible planet where, you know, if you are looking to really make impact and ascend, especially in your Earth incarnation, you know, Saturn has a massive role to play in that, because we have to kind of work in that spiritual discipline aspect, right? So it's also the planet of karma, right? And this is why it's so important, and this is why this time is going to be so fascinating. This reading is going to be so fascinating for me personally anyway. I hope for everyone watching. It is always my intention, by the way, that everyone watching this receives one bit of insights or something that'll help them, you know, on their journey. So I do hope that this is what is brought through for you. But Saturn is that planet of karma as well. So if they're, and you know, the law of karma is, you know, every action has an equal and opposite reaction, right? It's kind of like cause and effect, right? When we are in this 3D world, this 3D reality, which the Earth is, you know, we may be trying to transcend that and move up to that fifth dimensional unconditional love unity consciousness paradigm. But before we get there, we have to recognize and appreciate and honor the fact that the Earth, you know, and our bodies, which is made up of the Earth, is of that third dimension, which is, you know, there is fear, there is karma, there is polarity and things like that. We don't transcend that until every part of our collective consciousness is consistently anchored in the fifth dimension, right? So whilst we're moving through the third and the fourth, that is still going to remain. So we have to take that into consideration as we are here as humans, that part of our mission here is to complete the karmic cycles and bring balance to them and bring love to them, embracing those shadows, right? So I'm really excited to see what this reading is going to bring through for us. These readings, we work with angels, guides, ascended beings of love, of light, any energies that are already in the 5th, 6th, 7th and higher dimensions. They've transcended polarities, and they're here to really assist us in our own individual and collective missions here on Earth. You know, anyone that is here, that is incarnated here, you know, other star beings, they do look upon us as though we are walking masters, because it's to be here on Earth at this time is an incredible feat really of accomplishment. And what's really interesting is actually on the bottom of the deck, I'm just shuffling here, I've not really pulled anything out, but on the bottom of the deck we have the blue dragon from the Pleiades coming in here, which I'm so glad I noticed that, because this video is being recorded at the start of the Pleiadian portal, when the sun is aligned with the Pleiades, which are all about unconditional love and healing and that heart opening. So do check that video out if you've not seen it already, because it's going to be helping a lot of people right now. But for now, we're going to have a look at this Saturn retrograde. Let's find out what beautiful angels, guides and ascended beings of love, what can you tell us about, let's just start with the planet Saturn in general. I'm going to actually use a different deck of cards for this. Sorry, just switching over. What can you tell us about the planet Saturn just in general? What do we need to know about that? And then we're going to look at the actual retrograde. So what can you tell us about Saturn as a whole? Okay. All right, we've got 3 cards coming out here. We've got the Make-A-Wish card, we've got Love Yourself and You Are Understood. Now, what I love about the message coming in here is, you know, this Make-A-Wish card is very much, to me, it's about it's about manifesting. It's like, you know, what is it that we actually really, really want? And what Saturn can help us bring is that structure to how we manifest, because it helps bring an awareness to us, right? And what we don't realize, or what we sometimes forget to realize, is, you know, we are manifesting every second, every minute of every day, right? We never stop manifesting, right? Yeah, it's funny because, you know, a lot of times people, we can kind of want to be like, oh, I'm trying to manifest something, when in reality there's no trying about it. We are already manifesting, right? So don't doubt yourself. Don't worry about that. But what's really funny is, you know, I love that this card came out here, this Make-A-Wish, because it's kind of like Saturn helps us realize that, because it helps us kind of shed away and release anything that isn't aligned with our highest creation, right? And it always is tending to be around love, right? Loving ourselves and kind of how we project those self-judgments around and onto other people, right? And kind of that deeper understanding of things. So that's the message that's coming in here straight away, just about Saturn in general. I'm going to continue to pull some cards here, and we're going to look at how this retrograde, with the next few cards, how Saturn in the retrograde is going to kind of affect us and how it's going to bring depth to this message. So let's have a look. How will the Saturn retrograde influence us? Okay. Manifest. Coming in again. Right. And friendship is on the bottom of the deck here. So we've got this theme of partnership coming in. We've got this theme of friendship coming in. This could also be lovers. You know, this could be anything to do with that. Now, I'm just going to pop these cards there. Now, what I love here is that, you know, we've got the nature card coming in. This card to me is very much about, you know, it's like, it literally is like that lightning. It's like that that sharpness, that power that is coming in here. And the retrograde really is going to allow us to do that. But, you know, and when I say that it's going to allow us to do that, what I mean is it's going to allow us to kind of notice the power that we have, but it's kind of how we have been manifesting throughout our entire lifetime. The things that we've been manifesting that haven't been in the highest good, you know, there is a potential here that we could feel that we're getting stung by that, but that's not the point, right? That's not the point of this card, and that's not the point of our human experience. It's not to kind of feel victim to it and feel, oh, you know, this energy is really... you know, did I put that out there? Why is this coming in? You know, you may feel throughout this space of time. And, you know, we will do another video in like another month's time, maybe 6 weeks' time, as the longer retrogrades kind of proceed through their transits. But what I find really fascinating here about these cards here is that, you know, it's like, what is it that you have been wishing for? What is it that you have been manifesting? And, you know, have you been doing that in the highest way possible, right? Have you been manifesting from fear? Have you been manifesting and kind of putting energy out there that is a little bit sharp, right? Because whatever we've been putting out is going to come back multifold, right? Multifold, that's how it works. But what's really, really interesting here is that, you know, the retrograde energy is going to... And I've got this time to create energy coming in here. And I love that she's in red, right? And this, I'm getting drawn to that. And, you know, the way that I read cards, and for anyone that's followed me for a little while, you'll know that I personally, I don't read cards as though the actual definition of what is in the book. I work with them to bring depth to the messages that are being channeled in, you know, through claircognizance, right? And what I'm being drawn to right now is what they're showing me is this red here, which is about that root chakra, right? So there's a lot of energy coming in from the root that, you know, may be kind of challenged in order to complete the karmic cycle here. And this, once again, it does relate to that love, right? So root chakra, what is that? You know, that's your stability, that's your material world, that's control, right? In its imbalance stage. You know, it's kind of like, is someone holding control over you? Materially, you know, with money, with home, with safety, right? Do you feel safe, right? And what's really interesting is that, you know, we're not meant to be victim to another. We're not meant to be under the thumb of another. We are all equal and sovereign in our own rights. We're all kings and queens in our own right, you know, and no one else has that power or authority over us. But you know, we kind of give it away, and it's very much linked to this self-worth, right? It's very much linked to actually, you know, do you feel like you deserve that power? And that comes from that ability to feel that love for ourselves, and whether we value that inner worth more than we value someone else's worth, right? So, not someone else's worth, sorry, someone else's opinion of our worth. Thank you. They're just shifting how I use those words then. And what's really, really wonderful here is that kind of this retrograde is going to really make present to us, known to us where we have been creating in imbalanced state, you know, out of love, when we've been creating out of love, when we've been projecting that, you know, that energy really is going to be coming through here. And it's not to say, okay, time, you know, it's not to say, well, this is coming back to you, it's a punishment. That's not what it is. And they want to make that really clear, because sometimes we can actually feel like we are being punished for something, and we're not. We are absolutely not. But what they're trying to do, and when I say they, is I mean the universe, the laws of attraction, you know, our team of light, what they're trying to help us realize is that we really are connected with source. We are source, right? We are all God, whatever you call God, we are all that, right? And so realizing that, you know, only we create everything, right? Our experience, our reality, everything like that, we have created. And we've created it with, you know, for expansion, which is so funny, because Saturn is this planet, like I say, of like rigidity, but it's rigidity, it's more structure, is the word that I prefer to use, is the structure of it, to help us realize how much we can actually expand. And it's kind of like we place these walls around us and this structure around us so that we can knock it down, right? And then we really are manifesting what it is that we want. We're being a lot more intentional with our manifesting, and that's kind of what it feels like this is about to, this Saturn retrograde in the year 2021 is all about. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to pull some cards here to have a look at what karmic cycles, what are we. And this obviously is a general reading, so some of these messages may resonate more to one than it would do another, but I want to find out what karmic cycles are we going to be completing, what's the main focus here for people watching this video, you know. That's too many cards, you guys, come on. Let's try that again. They get a little bit excited. So, right, we've got star bathing coming in here. The void, oh, I love the void. And one more card. What karmic cycles are we facing? Called. Yeah. This is and the season moon taken underneath, and I love that this card is here. Let me just pop this down there. Hope you can see that on screen. What I love about these cards that are coming in here is, you know, we've got this star bathing, right? So all these light codes, all this energy is coming in for us. It's coming in for us. We're being activated. It's kind of like, you know, the karmic cycle that this is tagging into is, you know, it's kind of like this is activating for us, like what our soul wisdom is, what our ancient soul wisdom is. It's kind of like saying, you know, you are a master, you're receiving these light codes, you're integrating them, but now we have to blow out the walls. We do have to blow out the walls. We have to like shift everything out the way that that has stopped you from moving forward in your light here. You know, that stopped you moving forward as, you know, the keeper of that wisdom. You know, and it very much always is linked to this loving yourself energy, right? But what's really, really wonderful is we've got this void energy coming in, and the void is, you know, it's a very divine feminine energy, right? Which is interesting because Saturn is, you know, it's more of a masculine energy planet with that structure. But the void here coming in is kind of like it's asking us to surrender, because in the void we know nothing, right? Because we actually don't know anything anyway, right? Knowing something is the ego, knowing something is the mind, right? And, you know, our souls, they have such access to wisdom, and we kind of block that a lot of the time. So we get asked, and the events of whatever will come through for each individual, and it will be different for every individual, right? But what this Saturn retrograde is going to bring is, you know, it's going to bring us the opportunity to actually really go into that death and rebirth cycle, because it's, you know, we have to clear the space for new things to come in, and this is what the void is all about, right? You know, the void can be a little bit scary for some people that aren't used to surrendering, that aren't used to you know, having faith, but that's what this is actually going to help us tune into, right? This retrograde here is actually going to help us tune in and tap into that faith, and it is linked to that root chakra. You know, it is linked to, especially because, you know, the cosmic womb, if you are a female watch, and even if you're not, but just for argument's sake, if you're in a female anatomy, the cosmic womb, you know, relates to our actual cervix, right? You know, that space there, and that and the cervix is where the root chakra resides, is the energy portal in a female anatomy. And if you're in a male anatomy, it's, you know, it's lower down, it's in the it's at the base, you know, your perineum, that's the word, thank you. if you're in a male anatomy, but for a woman it's actually within us, right? And I think that's so poignant because you know, where that energy actually lies, and having the great cosmic womb coming in, because regardless as to your actual anatomy, you know, we all have that cosmic womb within us. We all have both masculine and feminine energies within us, and this retrograde is all about, you know, going into that feminine aspect of surrendering of the death and rebirth process, and that is beauty in itself, you know, because the thing is that it's only when we go into that void do we actually receive the knowledge that we are craving. Do we actually receive the path, the guidance that we are craving? You know, when we spend too much time in our mind, we get mind-based responses. You know, when we spend too much time in our heart, that's incredible, but we have to balance it out. But, you know, but where does that actually come from? It comes from the void. It comes from the soul, right? And that's what we want to tap into, you know. And what I love here is, you know, we've got the seas of Mintaka. Did you guys hear that? Like, I had a bit of a Freudian slip and I said the word sins, right? And that's really interesting because whenever something like that happens on a video, especially if I catch it as well, whenever something like that happens on a video like this, when I'm channeling, it's intentional, right? And the intention is, you know, what have we condemned ourselves for? What sins? And I do the air bracket things because, you know, it doesn't really actually exist, but what have we condemned ourselves for, and what have we judged ourselves for? Because that is what we have to release, right? That is what has to die. That's the ego death here. Oh yeah, wow, beautiful message. That's the ego death. That's what is dying in order to expand more, right? Because that's what's stopping us, right? You know, this self-judgment, that's what's stopping us from actually stepping onto our path and going full force ahead, you know, like completely straight through. You know, to be on our highest timeline is our own judgments and limitations, right? And the whole point of this process, and I find it so poignant that it's completing on the 1010 portal, right, which is 10 is a number of completion, right, is this called card here, you know, soul gifts and training. It's time to step up, because this process is literally going to help you clear through, and it's kind of like you're passing the final tests, you know. It's kind of like you're going, okay, well, I've learned that lesson, and that's what this will be about. You know, this Saturn retrograde will bring us lessons, and they may feel difficult and challenging and hard, and they may bring anxiety, and they may bring things like that, but you know, if that happens, get outside, bathe in the stars. Look, we've got star bait, like these two cards both look like stars. Star bathing, you know, being under that energy, and please do that. And the fact that we've got the season Mintaken here as well, you know, and look at that portal card straight underneath here. That's exactly what this is. This is a portal for us to actually step into our highest timeline, and actually what we're meant to be doing in this incarnation, you know. And the season Mintaken, this is we can get kind of lost, right, in the wave of emotions, and that's not the point of it. But the, you know, the flow of energy is going to bring through unconscious things. It's going to help us see things in a different perspective. It's going to help us see how maybe we have projected outwardly something actually that we need to go inward to find, right? And that void is within us, you know. And all the answers are within us, right? And all the direction, all the guidance is within us. All the potential, the untapped potential is within us, right? And it's funny because this is very, very black as well. This you know, the color is, you know, there's like nothing there, right? And that's what the color black is. It's the absence of everything, and within that absence, that is where creation is. And it's funny because actually the black is the color of the dragons from Saturn. I'm actually going to pull some cards here, but I feel like there's more that I've not said, or that more that needs to come through about the karmic cycles here. Let's have a look. Is there anything else that I've missed about these karmic cycle cards? Yeah, okay. Fire. Okay, and on the bottom of the deck we have Dragonfly, which is all about, you know, illusion. Like the veil being pulled away here, like the illusion can just, it's time for that illusion to disappear. We've created illusion, right? You know, this is about that metamorphosis. This is what this specific one is about. And, you know, we do have regular Saturn retrogrades, but what's really fascinating is that this one specifically really is about this metamorphosis, right? It's about finding this balance between the masculine and the feminine, between the earth and the skies, between everything, you know? It's about finding that balance here, as we have with Hawthorne showing up. And I think that's why we have the void coming in, because the void is that feminine space, right? And it's that balance in space, and you can't stay in a masculine energy and complete this initiation. We need the mother energy. We need that feminine energy to bring us the death, right? So that she can create space, so that she can make the land fertile, so that we can plant the new seeds and be reborn, right? And, you know, and that's essentially what this portal card is. You know, doors are open and you can decide how to utilize this retrograde, right? Are you going to fight against it? Are you going to allow your wings to fly? Are you going to go through the metamorphosis? And, you know, the butterflies in this picture, you know, the caterpillars, when they go into the cocoon, you know, you're literally dissolving, right? The caterpillar literally has to dissolve into a big pile of goo and complete death and rebirth, right? And what a beautiful message to come across here, right? It is that in such a huge way, but unlike anything else. And what's going to be really interesting is that if you're watching this video, do check the other videos on the other retrogrades, because we also have Pluto in retrograde, right? Which is that death and rebirth energy. You know, Pluto is that diving deep, and, you know, Pluto can hide things, right? So having the Pluto retrograde and the Saturn retrograde, kind of watch both of these videos and actually come back to them as well and watch them in hindsight, because it will help you piece together things and really get that insight. But look, we've got this fire here coming in, and that's really what this is all about, allowing the fire to burn away all that isn't real, you know, literally purifying. And it's kind of like, you know, in the fire, it's like the phoenix, right? You know, and it's such a powerful energy because it's that passion energy as well. You know, it's that soul purpose energy. It's such an incredible source to, you know, elemental energy to work with. And it can be wild, that fire. You can't really tame fire, but you can understand it, you can seek to know it, and you cannot be afraid of it. And that's what this is about, you know. So let's have a look at what the dragons are saying here for how, for any other guidance, just to help us best navigate this space and time. Any guidance they wish to offer us. We've got the lilac fire dragon, absolutely, and on the bottom of the deck, Archangel Gabriel's dragon, and the golden solar dragon. Okay, I'll just put these. Let's see that they're in view. There we go. So the lilac fire dragon, once again, this is the more feminine version of the violet flame, right? So you've got this, you know, Kuan Yin energy is in here, right? Which is compassion. She's on the board of karma. You can even ask, right? Because this is a time that you are completing karmic cycles. And that's the intention. You know, we don't want to repeat them. And that's what happens in this lifetime. You know, we are always being presented with new opportunities to complete karmic cycles, like literally periodically through the year, through different relationships, different dynamics. And we can either choose to go, that's a pattern I don't want to repeat. I don't know why this experience is happening. And, you know, if you're having a repeat experience or a repeat feeling with other people, or even just with one person, you know, take it within you guys, because if we don't, then we just repeat it. And why would we do that, right? Because the karma stuff doesn't feel so great, does it? It goes against our true nature. So, you know, the lilac fire dragon helps us transmute through the power of divine love, right? So that's how we want to go through this beautiful Saturn retrograde, is by bringing in whatever lessons, whatever emotions, whatever feelings, bringing it up to the heart space. Allowing the feelings to be there, but then bringing it to the heart space to be illuminated, transmuted in that fire. You know, even visualize that beautiful lilac flame surrounding you, going within you to purify it, right? Transcend with love, with enlightenment. You know, bring it in. If something's coming at you, and you're feeling like, and you kind of want to say that someone else is sending that to you, because that happens. People say that. You know, if you catch yourself saying that, that's amazing, because what you're doing is you're being aware of an energy that is actually within you, right? So how do we bring that up to our heart space to purify it? And Gabriel's dragon is coming out here, and you can actually work with his cosmic diamond. Diana Cooper does a wonderful meditation with Archangel Gabriel's cosmic diamond, so do find her on YouTube for that. But this is about, you know, self-discipline or speed, ascension, and bring joy. And this is what this retrograde is all about. You know, are you going to be disciplined in how you start your day, and how you know, are you connecting with nature? Are you getting outside? Are you meditating? Are you spending all day on social media, and then 6 hours has passed and you're like, what's happened? Where did that go? You know, carrying this cosmic diamond, right? And when I say carrying it, I mean, like, you know, visualizing it, like feeling it in your energy fields. It's such a powerful thing to do. And you know, Archangel Gabriel can really purify and cut cords and dissolve them and transmute, and literally like a lump of coal getting compounded, into a diamond, and we also have this golden solar dragon coming in here as well. So really work with that energy of the sun, and it really is beautiful when you go outside and when you open up your heart to the sun, what happens, And it's kind of like, although the feminine energy here is present within the Saturn retrograde, it's like what is happening is your masculine energy is getting the rewrite. That's what's being transmuted and purified here. This is about your cellular memory, your karmic memory, your DNA getting rewritten into a higher light with a higher light codes, so that, and what light codes are, they're essentially like keys to your betterment, right? To your ascension, to your being on your path more. So, we want to work with that feminine energy within us as well, and that's where the balance is coming in with Hawthorn, because it's the feminine that holds the space, that has the grace, that has the compassion, the peace and the hope and the joy, to let the masculine energy within us all actually transmute, and that's what's really incredible about this space and time, and how those two energies work together, because, and look, like on Hawthorn there's like a little fae being here, hidden. Well, I've never noticed these before. Look, they're hidden in the flowers, right? It's allowing whatever is hidden to come through, right? To be seen for what it is, and and you might find that it's a time right now that that this retrograde will bring through an awareness to you about where you have actually, given your power to someone else by saying, I wish I could do this, but they, maybe that's a governing body, maybe that is another person, maybe it's someone telling you what to do, maybe it's someone holding a security over you, like kind of threatening, and I do that with kind of air brackets again, because they won't actually physically threaten you, but kind of it feels like maybe for some people, I don't know, but it feels like, for example, if you're worried about finances and you're with a particular partner who brings a lot of money in, and you're worried about the stability of yourself if you were to not be with them, right? Are you actually giving your power away there because you're afraid that you can't do the same thing? There is a female archetype that will help you do that. She's the wild woman, she's the huntress, right? So maybe we just need to tap more into that, and it's such incredible energies coming through these cards. This really is going to be a very powerful retrograde if we choose to work with it. And I'm just going to pull a card here. What will happen if we don't, if we choose to resist everything? Yeah, if we choose to resist everything, look. Perfect. Yeah. If we choose to resist and we don't, then, we're not going to feel like we have that trust, right? We're going to feel like we need to be in a certain place because, it's more powerful to be in that safe space, kind of like, look, you don't want to step outside of your own home, you don't want to step outside of the walls, you don't want to break free of that, right? Because you're worried, and, we've got this Mars energy, right? This anger, this conflict. If you don't choose to work with this energy, then that's okay. But what will happen is, you will feel that kind of that volatility, that volatile energy, that conflict, and it'll continue to show up for you. So, I mean, I don't know about you, but I would love to see everyone living their best life, right? That's a phrase that is overused nowadays, I know, but I'd love to see everyone kind of living their joy, their bliss. And so many people don't, right? And, it's not for us to decide or make decisions for other people, because everyone is blossoming in their own perfect way, going through their own lessons. We can't tell anyone because it's not ours to tell. And if we are, then we're projecting, right? So we need to just keep bringing it back in. But it'd be so amazing for us to utilize this energy the way that they're intended to, right? Nothing is ever against you. Nothing is ever, set out to hurt you. That's not the point of anything in this world. We have created it. We are the only ones that are creating it. It's never anyone else. So this, once again, it links into that, that victim energy wanting to get rewritten. And this came through a few months back, right? Or not even a few weeks back. Maybe a month ago now, I can't remember. In one of the videos, and that's what it's all about. So anyway, I'm gonna bid you all so much love here, because this really is a wonderful time of really standing up and getting activated. Look, child of the cosmos, you literally have all the intelligence within you here. And we've got, I remember, look at that, it's upside down. That's so funny. Oh, they're the cards that fell out the deck. but everything is within you, right? You have, you know, nothing to want for, because it's all there. So on that note, I'm going to send you so much love. Thank you so much for everyone that's watched to this point of the video. I love you all so much. If this resonates for you, do feel very welcome to share, like, subscribe and comment. It helps other people see the video, anyone that may need to receive this information. And you know, if you are not yet in my Facebook group, the Isis Dream Temple, it's a wonderful place where magic meets mystery. You know, and that's where I have all the information for if you do want to work with me on a one-to-one basis or look at any of the courses that are offered. Please feel very welcome to join that space. It would be an honor to have your energy there. So until then, I'm sending you all so much love, so many blessings, and bye for now.